You're listening to the Platte River Bard.
Hello, and welcome to the Platte River Bard. This is Chris Berger.
And I'm Sheri Berger.
And we are back doing things, and we're going to be a little bit more regular now, and we have lots of ideas for stuff, but yes, we've been kind of on a bit of a hiatus.
We decided that everyone was already on digital overload.
Yes.
And with not many things happening, we decided that we would take kind of a step back and let other people compete for your attention.
Yes. So we decided to give it a break. And but now we're back and fully vaccinated and feeling great. And so are a bunch of other people, so we get to go out and talk to them, which is nice. We think we function better that way, so we're very happy about that. And
we hope you are doing well.
Yes, we hope everyone listening is doing well.
Yeah.
Please. And we're glad that things are easing up and things are opening up, and we get to see more of our friends and just more of everything. So I think we're all ready for it. And
I'm really excited about this merger.
Yes, exactly. One of the things that I was really glad we got to do is we got to go and talk to the Kims. Yes, Kim Jubenville and Kim Clark-Kaczmarek of WhyArts and Arts in Motion, respectively. But as of today, July 1st, that is today. They are one organization, and we're going to talk to them about that.
They were nice enough to host us at their office, and we went down and recorded there, and we'll do an intro for each one of them, and also for WhyArts and Arts in Motion. So if you're not familiar with their organization, or if you haven't worked with them and don't know who they are, we'll do a little spiel here before the interview so you get to know them.
Yes, indeed. And then we'll be on to the interview. So we hope you enjoy.
Kim Jubenville has been with WhyArts since its early days. She is a noted professional actress in the Omaha area and holds a degree in acting from the Gustavus Adolphus College in St. Peter, Minnesota. She is passionate about all of the WhyArts populations and also continues to serve as an active teaching artist. As a school program director, she focuses on developing curriculum and programming in all WhyArts after-school venues. Kim also works closely with the WhyArts teaching faculty, scheduling them in more than 1,500 workshops, training them in aspects of classroom management, and evaluating and encouraging their job performance. She also fosters and maintains WhyArts relationships with the coordinating agencies and schools using WhyArts services. WhyArts, founded in 1990, is dedicated to providing Omaha's underserved populations with access to inclusive quality arts programming. They believe each individual, no matter their circumstance, has unlimited creative potential. They also believe the arts are an incredibly powerful means of communication for the non-standard learner, and that's why they meet each individual at their level and work from there. WhyArts contracts with professional teaching artists to conduct workshops, residencies, and activities for their partners in the visual arts, theater, dance and movement, music, the spoken word, literature, storytelling, and animation. They build original arts programming for nonprofits, schools, social service agencies, and others that enriches their missions and curriculums and advocate for the arts by sharing best practices at local, regional, and national trainings and conferences. They also advocate for the value of arts for everyone, collaborate with community partners on mission-relevant public art projects, develop safe learning environments that encourages self-expression, and train their artists how to work with partner audiences, some of whom face physical and intellectual challenges.
Kim Clark-Kaczmarek has been with Arts in Motion since 2012. She earned a BA in theater from Nebraska Wesleyan University and a master's in theater from the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Kim is very involved both on and off stage in the Omaha theater community, including working at the Living Theater Project, Nebraska Shakespeare, The Rose, Omaha Community Playhouse, Great Plains Theater Conference, Papillion Community Theater, Bellevue Theater, and Westside High School. In addition to the program director with Arts in Motion, she teaches for S&J Studios, as at WhyArts, of course, and is on the artist roster for the Nebraska Arts Council's Artists in Schools program. She and her husband, Anthony, are also proud parents of their little daughter, Stella, whom I have also worked with in A Christmas Carol. Yay! Arts in Motion's mission is to cultivate an appreciation of the arts through dance, use dance to teach essential life skills to young people and promote social and emotional learning, and to enhance the enjoyment of life through dance for people of all ages, income levels, and abilities. Incorporated in 2005 as a local nonprofit arts education organization, Arts in Motion originally focused on community outreach. During its first 3 years, Arts in Motion collaborated with Girls Incorporated, Campfire USA, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and the Kids Club program within OPS. Through these partnerships, Arts in Motion taught art, music, and dance classes. Arts in Motion is best known for the nationally recognized Dancing Classrooms, which reaches almost 1,500 local students a year. The program teaches cultural dancing along with social, emotional learning skills. Students learn kindness, respect, partnering, sharing, and inclusion, all while doing the waltz or foxtrot. Arts in Motion also brings with them their senior Golden Ballroom programming and Saturday Academy for advanced students of dancing classrooms. Together, they have developed Across the Floor, which is a movement program for adults and children with disabilities. And we are here at WhyArts with Kim Jubenville, the executive director, and Kim Clark-Kaczmarek, one of the
program
directors is how we described it. That's right. We'll make sure we get it all right.
She tried for general.
Hey, well, settled for program director.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. And it is my understanding that you are new-ish to the WhyArts organization, because WhyArts is, I guess, as of July 1st, officially combining with Arts in Motion. And you guys will be one big happy family, yes?
Yes, we're getting married.
Yes! Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
So what prompted the big get-together?
Well, actually, we had talked about this in secret meeting rooms several years ago.
Oh, excellent.
And thought about what would it be like if we partnered together and maybe, thought about combining. Mm-hmm. And it never happened. It never happened. And then in November of 2019, our executive director, Carolyn Anderson, retired from WhyArts. And that put us in a position where we were without an executive director, and we were without, I became the executive director. Uh-huh. I won the short straw. No, I won the very great long straw. And I became the executive director. So what we needed to do is we needed to kind of reimagine ourselves. Okay. We did not know. We didn't have that crystal ball that said, guess what? Yeah. In March, we got another big surprise for you.
Yeah. Wow.
But in that little time between November and March, Kim and I started having conversations because Kim was also a WhyArtist.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I know that you're going to hear a lot of Kims because we're both Kim.
That's
so
all right.
She's KCK and I'm Kim.
There we go.
So KCK and I started having talks about what it would be like for us to partner, and then why don't we try dating a little bit, so to speak. We called it dating. Mm-hmm. And they were in a position where they needed to vacate they had an office space that they wanted to get out of. Okay. And I said, well, why don't you come on up to the University at Omaha. We're in the Barbara Weitz Engagement Center. It's a really great place because it's always hopping with young folks, and there's great nonprofits here, so we can partner with them. And I think it would be a great place for you guys to, we can kind of test the waters and see what it's like. And the Barbara Weitz Engagement Center was really open to that.
Nice.
So we did that. And Kim got all moved in.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
And then, oh man.
She had her pictures and her Post-it notes all at her desk.
Everything ready.
Everything was ready.
Oh my God. Now, for those who may not know, I guess briefly explain to us what is WhyArts and what is Arts in Motion.
Great.
Good question. Well, WhyArts, and when you hear WhyArts, you might be thinking the letter Y, and it's not. It's Y, like WHY.
The question,
Yeah.
yes.
Why are arts so important? And we, as an organization, want to help you understand why arts are really at the crux and at the heart of pretty much when we want to make connections. And that's what Why Arts is all about, is about making connections. We want to do that at the very granular level, and we use arts to do that. And we started long time ago, 30 years ago, as part of the VSA, which is the Very Special Artist Program, and it was out of the Kennedy Center.
Okay.
And at that time, it was geared specifically for young children with disabilities, create arts programming, mostly visual art programming.
Okay.
And then it was started on the University of Nebraska at Kearney's campus as part of their special education department. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But those are our roots. It eventually worked its way here to Omaha, Nebraska, where it was taken over. And in 2006, Carolyn Owen Anderson took it over as a program director initially, and then she became its executive director. And in about 2007, we decided to expand our mission, which from children with disabilities to adults with disabilities, seniors, and at-risk youth, because we were asked by the Omaha Public School to start a middle school after-school initiative and bring visual arts there. So we started to grow and to include more different types of art, and we then became WhyArts. And it was WhyArts with a question mark, like we had to point up like you needed to ask the question.
Sure.
We don't think we need to do that anymore, so now we're just WhyArts.
Fair enough.
And but our whole goal is we have a two-prong approach. One is to hire professional artists who are professionals in their field, so that it's a way for us to engage with the artists who are in our community, to keep them here so that they can share their expertise. And then we also use their expertise, we subcontract with them, and then we partner with other nonprofits so that they're able to strengthen their mission. And our goal is to do that as many times as we can. And so we do a lot of creative play, we do visual arts, we do theatrical arts, and we had done movement, but we had kind of gotten away from that.
Okay.
And so then I'll let you kind of talk to Kim, KCK, about Arts in Motion, because they were doing kind of a similar thing just at the same time across the street or down the road.
Yeah, well, that sounds kind of like a natural thing with Arts in Motion then.
Absolutely. Well, Arts in Motion was started back in 2005.
Okay.
But it was under the name of the Artery, because the idea was to bring the heart of Omaha, or the heart of the arts, to the center of Omaha. And so they used to be called the Artery, but we changed the name probably about, 4 or 5 years ago, because everybody thought that artery was related to the med center. So
fair enough.
Yeah, so it ended up changing to Arts in Motion, but it was started as a similar organization as WhyArts in the sense that it had theater, music, visual art, juggling. I mean, all kinds of arts across dance, everything. And then a gal named Marion Fay, who was a local dancer, and she was running the organization. She had seen a documentary called Mad Hot Ballroom over at the Dundee Theater, and it was about a program called Dancing Classrooms that started in New York City by a man named Pierre Dulaine, who wanted to bring ballroom dancing to kids in the inner city.
Cool.
And so if you get a chance to see the documentary, it's really fascinating.
Like I said, that sounds familiar.
It came out in the 90s. I think it was the late 90s.
I'm a documentary person.
It's really fascinating. And there's another one that a follow-up called Dancing in Jaffa.
And then there's the movie with Antonio Banderas.
Oh, yes.
Dancing in Jaffa.
Called Take the Lead. Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
And so then she said she fell in love with this movie and thought this program was amazing. And she's like, we have to have this in Omaha. And so she started some calling, asked them if we could start this program here. And we're the second city to have this program. And it's an international program now.
Oh, cool.
So we've had it the longest of anybody besides New York. And so what we do is we go in and we teach a 20 session lesson to kids basically in the age of 5th grade, 8th grade, high school. But it's kind of now spreading out to a lot of different age brackets.
Okay.
And we go in the middle of the day and we teach them different ballroom dances like the foxtrot and the merengue and the tango, the waltz, the polka, all different kinds of dances. But that happens to just be the tool that we use because really the core of it is about social emotional learning and these kids learning about being respectful to each other, teamwork, elegance, what's it like to be a community of people and dancing together. And so what they don't understand is that it's not really being a good dancer. It's just about that connection that they make. But we also have our Saturday Academy, which is an extension of that program where if you go through dancing classrooms, you can take free classes on Saturday mornings, and then there's different levels to that. Okay. So you can graduate to be like youth ballroom and then the A-team. And we're kind of hoping with WhyArts that we'll expand that program to not just be dancing, but to be more visual or theater or music on those Saturdays. And then we have our Golden Ballroom, which was started by a woman named Pam Dutton.
Yes.
And she started this program going into assisted living, retirement homes.
Oh, neat.
To do chair dancing with our friends that are in the elderly population.
Yes.
And then she also did some standing ballroom dancing with them as well. So those are kind of our 3 primary programs. And when Kim and I talked about it, we're like, oh, this is just a great matchup.
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Because
a no-brainer, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because our programming used to be what theirs is, and they used to have dance, so it just felt like a natural fit.
And the idea that art is the tool and the method,
yes.
but it's really about the connection and the relationship and what we learn by giving and taking and participating. And so, it was a pretty easy ask, and so and then also they were doing more workshops with persons with disabilities. They were going into the ACP classes and actually using the dancing classroom curriculum to great success. In ACP classes, which was really exciting to us, and so we partnered. On developing a program called Across the Floor, which was geared more for adults, say 18 to whatever adults with disabilities, to use a lot of the same ideas, kind of combining the Golden Ballroom and some of the dancing classrooms and some other unique tools to create movement that takes them through all of the processes of getting ready for a big dance. So why don't you tell them a little bit about that?
I think, and also looking at, sort of how do you prep for a social event and be appropriate and not feel like you stick out? Because I think sometimes some of our friends who may have intellectual disabilities or physical disabilities, they might not feel like they fit in as well when they go to a social event. So this way we can offer them the practice with their peers, and they won't be judged at all. And that's really helpful. Yeah, it's so much fun, and we've been kind of learning along the way because we're doing a pilot program of it right now, and we just finished our first session and had a big dance party out in the middle of Turner Park, and
With another good friend, Gotta Be Me, which is an amazing nonprofit that provides social opportunities for young adults with disabilities.
Okay.
Radically inclusive. It's Tiffany Clifton is their executive director. So we
Excellent.
partner with community organizations all over.
Yeah.
And like I said, one of our goals is to make sure that we're helping them achieve their mission by using the arts. So they don't have to be the expert in the arts or hire all of the artists. We can do that for them.
Okay.
And then we can create a roster of artists who are Y artists who really dig our mission and really want to do art our way. And that is, we're not going to ask you to teach so-and-so how to draw a bird.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or
it's
bring
like
your saxophone in.
Giving lessons.
We're not giving lessons.
Right.
Although we can, we're capable. We're more than capable
Right.
of doing that.
Right.
That's not our normal way
main thing.
of engaging with our clients. It's
Okay.
really about creating arts experience, creative arts experiences.
And one of the things that's really fantastic is many of our artists cross over between both of our organizations. So that was a natural fit as well.
Oh, sure.
And I don't know many of the people out there who are doing gig work. That's a really special thing because you won't be getting paychecks from several different places, and we can offer more arts programming and more employment opportunities for our artists in the community.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
So you guys probably got a pretty good sized stable of artists that are with you right now.
We do, however, but we're always looking.
Of course, of course.
We always have our ear to the ground, and we are also we go to art shows and we go to theater and we are always out in the community looking for people who are interesting and who may be interested. So we may stalk you on Facebook, and if I did, I'm sorry, but I really
That's all right.
Well, and I think that just in this past year during the pandemic, I mean, it's become a challenge with our artists.
Some people have had to move home to their hometowns.
Yeah.
So we are looking for more artists. And to be honest, in this climate, we are looking at diversity and inclusion, and so we always have had a pretty great diverse roster of artists.
Sure.
But we are looking. So you can, if you're interested, go to our website, which is www.WhyArtsInc.org, and poke around and see if you see yourself inside our mission, because we have a lot of fantastic artists who are in this city. We have a really solid arts scene here. But it's not just about being a great artist. It's about, you have to embrace the mission as well.
Yeah.
Which is
And that is really the core.
that is the core.
It's totally the core.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, you guys had almost like identical missions.
Yeah, we do.
Pretty much. So once again, no brainer.
We're gonna fine tune that, and we're gonna zhuzh up our logo a little bit in the weeks and months to come. But
So now Arts in Motion and Y Arts will combine, and you will just now be Y Arts.
right,
Okay.
Arts in Motion will live intact inside us. Every bit of the programming is coming over.
Sure.
Members of the Arts in Motion board are coming over and joining us. We actually, this was the year for Y Arts to do its strategic plan, which was interesting in a Zoom capacity, but we did. And actually, we did very well. We invited Arts in Motion's board to join us, and so they were part of our strategic plan because we wanted to be sure that we were like-minded and where we wanted to go and grow in the next 3 years. And then they were Kim was their one and only full-time paid staff.
Okay.
So Kim is coming over and will be directing all of the existing program that existed over there.
Cool.
So
It was easier I think it was to keep the name Y Arts. It was probably, I think we decided to do that because Arts in Motion had just changed their name and their logo and everything. Not as not that long ago. And so I think people were not as attached to the name probably.
Fair enough.
It just seemed more logical. And WhyArts is a little bit bigger capacity wise.
And
so,
dancing classrooms, each of the programs inside of Arts in Motion kind of are individually branded.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
And so they kind of stand out in their own regard.
Yeah, that's true.
But the organization is WhyArts, and then dancing classrooms, Golden Ballroom, across the floor are programs within WhyArts.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So how did you guys handle the pandemic then? How did you got moved in, you got your sticky notes up, and
then you couldn't do anything you wanted to do.
Well, luckily, the internet did not go down. Can you imagine what this pandemic would have been like if somebody would have messed with that? We were.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I think there
That
was
and
even
Netflix and binge watching.
Yes, if Netflix would have went down, I think the whole country would have rioted.
I think it would have. But luckily,
well, I think when this first started, we all thought, give it a couple weeks and we're going to be back up and running, and it will be just fine.
We'll be all right. No.
Silly us.
No. We had just finished a couple of residencies back in the spring, and we thought that we would be coming back to start a couple of other ones in the late spring. And as soon as that happened, we started, Arts in Motion started pre-recording dance lessons and getting those sent out to all of those schools that we had on our roster that we were going to be working with. And then the Zoom craze hit fairly quickly.
Yeah. Boy, howdy.
And then WhyArts jumped on that as well, and Kim can talk about that.
Yeah, we created virtual programming the entire school year. Because
Excellent.
we have a very large grant through the Sherwood Foundation and through Collective for Youth that provides visual art programming in middle school after school programs.
Okay.
And we did that via Zoom, or we did it via Microsoft Teams.
Okay.
Somewhat begrudgingly,
all right.
because many of us were Zoom fans, but we
Teams
learned.
is difficult.
Yeah, we navigated it.
Okay, so you made it work.
We made it work. But most of these kids were in their homes. So we had those logistics of how do you get supplies to these kids.
Yeah.
And so we tried a lot of different scenarios. Carrier pigeon, dropping them off, getting them to the school.
That's right. Go to the bush behind the 7-Eleven. There'll be a package there for you.
Exactly. Well, and then as you probably know that when you get into some of those classrooms too, that a lot of these kids, I mean, they're shell shocked by this, and they don't want to turn their cameras on, and they don't want to speak on camera. So that's been probably one of the biggest challenges that we've had is making those personal connections that you would normally have when you're in the classroom.
Pretty much across the board, the artists who were in the middle school said we had so much difficulty getting the kids to turn their cameras on. Our numbers were really low, but once we got in there, they softened up. And so we didn't reach as many students as we normally did, but the ones we did reach wanted to be there. Or needed to be there. And so we felt really good about that part of the program.
That's good.
And we found some other ways to to reach out. We made some community holiday baskets, creativity packets. And so we would get bags and fill them full of art supplies, 200 bags, and drive them over to North Star and say, get them to your boys. We did the same thing at Completely Kids, because we wanted to be part of the solution, and we felt kind of hamstrung. And so we found some creative ways to do that.
That's cool.
Well, I think everybody was sort of grabbing for any way that we could possibly.
Everybody got super
Definitely.
creative and agile, and just they're like, okay, what can we do now? You know, it's like, okay, we know what we can't do, so what can we do? And what can we make up to do?
Exactly.
So just start making stuff up. And speaking of that, is there anything that you guys did during the pandemic that you're like, oh, we should keep doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that, there's a silver lining to be found in anything, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And I know that one of the things that we found, I think that staff-wise, we all became a lot closer than we normally would. And I think having regular staff meetings.
We were on that.
Yeah. And I think that, many of the artists would always be working out on their own. They'd go out and do their own thing and they would report back, but not a lot of us got to interact with each other. But Zoom kind of made that possible.
Yeah, we had funding that we needed to use that our funders were really we were so blessed because they were so generous. Because a lot of times you have what's called a restricted grant where if you don't use the monies in this specific way, in this specific time frame, you're required fiduciarily to return those funds.
To return it, okay.
Every single funder we had said, not this
year.
year.
Do what you need to do.
Do what you need to do. Keep your artists employed.
Fantastic.
Create ways of training them. So we partnered with Collective for Youth, which and they created lots of professional development opportunities, and we did a lot of DEI work. We had conversations throughout the summer. We started in March, and we didn't end until, I think, July 1st was probably our last time we met. But we paid out over $70,000 in training fees, which to artists to help keep them employed.
Yeah.
So
that
we were
is fantastic.
It was. We felt really proud about that, and
Yes.
it's strictly because our funders were so generous with us to be able to do that.
You must be really good at writing grants. I need to learn something.
We have really good funders.
I always say, you have some
we have
fantastic people who fund you. And thank you to them. Holy cow, that was much needed.
That was a real blessing.
Yeah.
And then we were lucky to receive some of the CARES funding and the PPP, so we stayed afloat. We're gonna, it could have been so devastating.
Oh my God, yes.
When you think about it.
Especially when you look around our community and you see for-profit businesses that have closed.
That are going,
during this
for
time.
profit.
Yeah.
And it was to our, it was ironic, but we were a staff person down because we had not hired they hadn't really replaced me or hired a new executive director.
Oh, okay.
So we were down a staff person, so we stayed lean and mean.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Yeah. But the other thing
Emphasis on the mean.
With the Zoom capabilities, though, we've looked at, you talked about what other silver lining there was. We are able to hopefully reach out beyond the Omaha community and be able to offer programming across the state, and it makes it a little bit easier to connect with people that way.
We've had
Cast a wider net for sure.
We have like, for example, Autism Nebraska had something called Winter Blues they asked us to do, where we did remote visual art programs. They were in Grand Island, Norfolk, Beatrice, Kearney. There were several different locations where they had clients who wanted to learn how to paint and draw. And so we wrapped up art boxes and art packages, sent them out, and on Thursday nights at 7:00, they'd tune in, and away they'd go with some of our Y artists, and they really had a good time. The hope was that their work would then end up in their annual art show, which they had to postpone this year, but it'll come back. It'll come back. And we had a good time, and it'll come around. But we're going to continue to do things like that. Yeah. We also did a technology workshop. Part of our advocacy work is to help other organizations outstate replicate our model.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so we work a lot with Beyond School Bells, and the Kearney School District has been really great with partnering with us. So they'll contact us, and we'll do what we call an ELO, which is an extended learning opportunity. So they'll contact us, and we'll do a 4-hour workshop to help train their site staff on how to create engaging workshops.
Cool.
And this one was in technology and STEM, so it was easy for us to do it over technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so there is a silver lining, and that in the end will be something that will help us. Can become an income stream for us.
Yes.
So we're able to expand
else.
our reach.
But nothing is more important than being in person.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Let me just say that.
I know. Oh, especially since some of us have started to get back to do in-person stuff again. And it's like, how we've missed each other.
It is. It's
my
so
gosh.
true. Our friends at VODEC, which is an adult vocational job training place here in town and in Council Bluffs, asked us to do some video work. They have, they're over in Des Moines and in
Urbandale.
Ankeny and Urbandale. So we've been doing things virtually with them.
Cool.
And probably in the right heart, but I used to I'm also a Y artist. I started as a Y artist.
Okay.
In 2005, and one of my gigs was I was the Tuesday VODEC gal. So and I have been missing my peeps at VODEC so bad. And I'm driving up to the university and I see the VODEC vans at the park. At Elmwood Park, and I screech over, and we were just crying because it had been so long since we'd seen each other. Yeah. Everybody was still there.
Oh, excellent!
It was such a lovely time. So there is nothing like being face to face. So
I think we're all kind of gaining a new appreciation for that coming out of this.
It's one of those. You think about like you look back to 9/11. You go, where were you on that day? I'll remember the day that I had my first big hug. That was beyond my my family unit that lives in my house. After you were vaccinated and you could hug somebody.
Yes.
I think a lot of us will probably remember that.
Yes,
really
absolutely.
Well. Yes.
And maybe the weird thing that you did in 2020. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because everybody had kind of one weird thing they did. It's like, well, I decided to do this.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay,
And
cool.
how many dogs were
I have a COVID dog.
You have a COVID dog?
I do.
I got the dog right before COVID, and oh boy, am I glad I got that.
Yeah.
Hopefully
They're
everybody
the
keeps their
best.
doggies. We love them.
They really are.
We love them. We
I
love
know.
them. Well,
But there's some COVID babies out there too.
I see. And I'm curious what kind of a baby. If we're going to get a baby
The
boom
baby
out of
boom.
this.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny if we did. Well, and now moving out of this now, and you guys are moving forward. The big date for you guys is July 1st. It'll be official. Mm-hmm. Is there? What's the road forward look like now? What are you thinking about?
Well, everything's starting to open up, which is really, really great and also a bit frightening.
It is. I was just going to say I had kind of a panic attack just going in and getting food one night for us. Here recently after we've been vaccinated on German American Society, and I realized for the first time I'm standing in a big room with like more than 20 people in it. And they were eating, so they had their masks off, and then I really freaked out and I got my food and I ran out of there. Their food is wonderful, by the way, but I'm gonna have a little bit of a hard time acclimating. I don't think I'm probably alone.
No, you're not.
So not everybody's running back. No.
And part of what we do is to meet everybody where they're at. And we have artists who are not comfortable doing that. Throughout the pandemic, there were times when we said, as an organization, we are not going face to face. But then once the vaccine came, it's up to each artist to make that determination whether they choose to be vaccinated or not. Now, we work in some vulnerable populations where vaccination may be mandated. So we have to meet everybody where they are at. And so...
But we're heading back. I mean, I'm working at a school right now, and we're in person, and we're dancing, and we're touching.
Excellent.
That probably sounded bad, but we are.
Well, we get to touch again.
Yeah, but we're they're holding hands.
But you did such a creative thing when you couldn't touch. She had these jump ropes and bungees that were
we kept them 6 feet apart.
And
we danced separately. We were virtual, but the kids were all in the room. But we kept them all separated 6 feet apart, so they weren't actually touching each other. We called it a bridge, to bridge the two people together.
That's really neat.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was super fun.
But this year we're out of the blocks, but it's going to be a long a lope this year because we're gonna if we sprint in or try to we're going to miss a lot of opportunities to be sensitive to where people are at. We had a program that we wanted to bring into a certain client, and they were like, "Oh, we love the idea of this, but I'm going to just tell you that now is not the time because the conversations that we need to have are around this and not that. So we want to do this. It's just that we have to hold space for these conversations right now." It's like,
Fair enough.
Good point. Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are starting something new, and everything's kind of new again, and maybe different. And so, it'll finding your way this year. It'll be,
Yeah, I kind of hope that people don't think, let's go back to exactly the way it was, because I think we all learned so many new things from this. And we've become sensitive, I think, a little bit more sensitive to each other.
We can only hope.
Well, we can only we can only hope.
Yes.
True.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully, at the end of the day, we did learn something.
Right.
But kids are kids.
Yeah.
And and I know that they were tired. They just,
they just want to see their friends.
They just want to see their friends. So, everybody in this world is going to take what we have and make what they need of it. And if we're trying to push something that they're not ready for, we have to be gentle and meet them where they're at. But that's kind of always been what we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
So this is a great opportunity for us to continue to live our mission. So
I don't think we'll ever forget it.
No.
I don't think I will.
No.
Forget it.
Well, good luck. Break legs.
Thank you.
To the new endeavor, the new merger.
You're invited to the party.
Absolutely. Well,
it's going to be a great reception.
Yes. We don't know where it's going to be or when it's going to be.
But when the coast is clear, totally.
Absolutely.
There'll be food. There'll be dancing.
There'll be good food. There'll be dancing and lots of laughter and some art.
Yes,
that's wonderful. And I just love your mission, and I love what you do for people.
Well, great. Come be with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thanks so much for giving us a chance.
Please. Thanks for having
us.
This has been really nice, and we're just glad to be able to talk to you and maybe let some more folks know. And hey, maybe some more artists will come around.
That would be great.
Info at WhyArtsInc.org.
There we go.
Yeah. There's also a PayPal button there, so you can make a donation. So if somebody's got some dollars. No Bitcoin, please. We don't know what to do with that.
I don't even get what that is.
I don't even either.
If Warren Buffett won't invest in it, then I don't.
Then we're not.
Forget about
it.
We're not going. Very good. But yes.
Yeah, I'll put all of the links in the show notes,
including
your website and how to donate and where to find you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you to the Kims.
Thank you for listening and supporting the arts in the Platte River area and beyond. Please subscribe to our podcast so you are sure to catch all of our future episodes and join us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Music for this podcast was used with permission by Screaming Skull Productions. See you next time on the Platte River Bard.